Good evening and welcome, Hornet fans, to Maumelle Hornet Football, the Maumelle Sports Network, powered by Natural State Sports. We are live here from Hornet Stadium, and we are about 25 minutes away from our kickoff of this big matchup here in Week 1 between two-time defending state champion, the Parkview Patriots, here against your Maumelle Hornets. We're going to jump right into it to our pregame show. This is Steve Henson, joined by Tyler Chenault, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes after the pregame show. Evening and welcome to the Count Porcula pregame show on the Maumelle Sports Network, powered by Natural State Sports. Are you craving barbecue that stands out from the crowd? Count Porcula Barbecue wants to show you why we're different. We're talking certified Angus prime brisket, tender baby back ribs, and mouth-watering pulled pork, all smoked to perfection. Our fresh southern sides and delicious desserts will complete your meal. From tailgating to family dinners, we've been perfecting our craft since 2008. Find us on the boulevard at 10840 Maumelle Boulevard. Call 246-5669 or order online at countporcula.com. Count Porcula Barbecue. Barbecue you can sink your teeth into. All right, joining me this week, as always, is head Hornet Coach Brian Moppin, as well as our offensive and defensive MVPs from Week 0, Jacob Henry and BJ Beats. Welcome, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We'll pass that around. We're having to work with just a few less mics tonight since we're trying to record so many shows at once. But, well, let's get into it, man. Let's talk a little Sylvan Hills. Obviously, a big win, 36-0. You guys finally got to get out and hit somebody, have a little bit of fun with somebody other than yourselves, and an impressive 36-0 victory, again, over district rival Sylvan Hills. Coach, talk about it. What do you feel like your team did well?
Yeah, I mean, I thought defensively we answered the call all night. You know, anytime you can hold a solid program to negative 50 yards rushing, that speaks volumes. 29 yards of total offense. We had more points than they had yards. I would think that that's a winning recipe. Obviously, functionality-wise, discipline-wise, there's plenty to clean up. Heck, I mean, even in the defensive film meetings this week, there's a lot to clean up there. But the guys' intentionality, their effort, their physicality, very proud of. And, like I said last week, I'm blessed that I get a front row seat to watch these guys ball every week, and I'm just so proud of the young men in this program. There's so much room for growth, but it's really exciting every week to see what they're capable of.
So a little bit of a slow start, obviously 6-0, had the lightning delay that kind of mixed some things up. But the biggest thing, a lot of penalties, especially that second quarter. You had 14 for 126. And I'm going to ask a little bit of what do you attribute that to, but I'll just tell you from my perspective, it almost felt like you had a Sylvan Hills team out there that came off an 0-10 season that was trying to prove themselves maybe a little much. And I know Jay Burr on that call likes to call them emotional plays and then playing a little beyond the whistle, playing a little hard. And it felt like there was some of that going on. Maybe those guys wanted to push a little more, maybe try to push some buttons of you guys. And not that you guys responded, but that felt like maybe some of it was maybe a little bit of Sylvan Hills trying to kind of force their will a little and maybe get some momentum.
Yeah, I think a lot of things go into it. First of all, I could just tell in pregame warm-ups, man, we were so pent up. We were that champagne sitting in the championship locker room just waiting to pop. And you could just feel it in pregame, man. We were just so amped up, so ready to just unleash that sometimes it's hard to control, and I want to play with that level of fire, that level of passion, that level of oomph, but we have to control that better. I will say, there were some instances where I thought we were just whipping their butts between the lines, and the refs didn't know how to referee that. And then also on top of that, I think that for whatever reason, they had a couple players ejected, and I think the refs kind of tried to take control of a game that was losing control early, and all of these things can add up to a lot of penalties. Plus we weren't very clean on our functionality, way too many pre-snap penalties. We jumped offsides one time as a defense, hate that. Offensively, a couple false starts. We had trouble. Our tackle didn't understand that he can't pick his hand up after he puts it down. So just little things, that's not getting called in team camp, and that's the most structured football we've had since, our spring game or last season. And so little things like that will come and rear their ugly head week 0. But, yeah, I mean, I told the guys during the Lightning delay, you know, when a team is struggling and grasping for positivity, if they don't feel like they can beat you on the field, they're going to try to muddy it up as much as possible. And we're trying to get to the place where that's a reoccurring theme, where teams realize they can't play with us, so they want to kind of muddy it up as much as possible. We have to rise above that. I was glad we never retaliated or responded. We didn't have anybody ejected. We didn't throw any punches or anything like that. Got a little excessive one time for sure. You know, but most of the time it was just physical football, and I'll live with that every day of the week. You know, refs are going to have to learn how to police it, but I mean, we're going to play physical. We're going to finish blocks. We're going to finish tackles. We're going to finish plays, and those are the penalties that don't make me upset. The functionality stuff and the extracurricular yapping, I'm not with that stuff.
Yeah, and you know, you made the point. There was really only one moment, and I think it was the play on McFadden where we just got a little too amped up, and thankfully it was post-play on a 4th down. But, you know, other than that, it really did feel like a lot of times you had guys. I mean, there was an example late, and I think it was in the 3rd. I might be off on that, but we blocked a guy all the way to the sidewalk. We were taking him into literally. We were going to take him all the way over here into the indoor at one point. And so, I mean, you saw that physicality, and I think you're right. I think Sylvan Hills came out wanting to be physical and just maybe felt like, you know, okay, this is a little different animal and thought it was going to be. And so maybe some frustrations boiled over, especially towards the end. But, you know, the second half, different story. You guys just, I mean, 30 points in the second half, completely dominant from whistle to whistle. I mean, you had the offense, defense, both going, and really special teams outside of, you know, extra points. You know, we didn't convert any of those, but special teams wise, you had 2 punt returns called back, and I'll say it because, you know, me and the AAA have our fun. I don't know that either one of those should have been called back, and I'm going to include one in your highlight package just because the block didn't change anything that they called. Yeah, that was a touchdown no matter what. So it felt like the second half there was a lot more focus and a lot more intensity going on there. Was that the biggest difference, and what was that? Was that the message at halftime?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely having a half under our belt made a big difference, you know, but I'm going to be real honest, having Jacob Henry out there made a huge difference. And, you know, he missed some time in the end of the first half. He had to go in and hang out with Dylan for a little bit. And he was able to come out, and we're a different team when he's on the field. We're most definitely a different offense when he's on the field. So he makes a lot of plays for us, but I think getting a half of football under our belt, taking a deep breath, realizing, okay, you know, the sky isn't falling when they complete a pass, and we hadn't won the state championship when we get a first down. And just kind of being process-oriented rather than goal-oriented. You can't win the game in one play. You got to take it one play at a time. So I think just kind of slowing that down and letting that be a thing was a big deal.
So let me get over here to the players. BJ, I'm gonna start with you because you're becoming an old pro with us right now. But Mr. Honeybun, 6 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a fumble recovery. Now, I know we talked about who was going to win the Honeybuns. Now, I'll preface this by saying I did get the wrong ones, but that's all Kroger had tonight. So I'm gonna get the right ones next time. But so instead of the regular one, I bought you the big pack. So you know that hopefully makes up for it a little bit. But you know, we talked about who, you know, would win it, and I think it came down to you and was it Sherman that had?
It was Landon or Sherman.
I think it was Sherman that had 2. I'll have to look back. I think that's right. Both of you had 2 sacks, but you had more tackles. So that was the differential that got you over the top. So I was going to throw it. I'll let you hand it over there to you. So. Yeah. Honey Bun Award, and we're excited about that. So enjoy those honey buns, and don't eat them all tonight. You may need to spread them out just a little bit. But defense set the tone. We talked about this earlier, but the defense set the tone from the very first play. A big sack on that first play. How'd that feel?
It felt good to be able to know that I set the tone and be able to cheer up with my guys. You know, I feel like setting the tone the first play really make a difference later in the game.
You know, and it's got to help, too. You get a Sylvan Hills team that, you know, a couple years ago, they wouldn't have thrown a pass. Now you get a Sylvan Hills team that is 2 years or the second year into this new offense, into Coach Hill and what he's doing. So I have to imagine, especially with the defensive-minded head coach right there, that the idea was let's get after Hampton, let's disrupt him, and let's make sure that we force him to beat us through physically while we're physical with him. So Sylvan Hills didn't have too many answers to the defensive line. Talk about those line mates. Talk about those guys that are on the defensive line with you and just how good those guys are and how much fun they are to play with.
Oh, yeah, they real fun to play with. We work hard every day, day in, day out, all through the week. And we stay disciplined, listen to Coach Mop, and we just go out there and do our job.
So I want to ask you this. The guy you followed, Nico Davier, super proud of him, captain last week for the University of Arkansas and got a start against UAPB. First off, did you get to watch the game?
Yes, sir.
Did you go to the game?
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic. It was good. It was fun. It was not as hot as I thought it was going to be. Nice little breeze thanks to that storm, so had a good time. But does seeing a guy from Maumelle like give you a little extra motivation though, and look like not only is he at the next level, but he's starting and playing and coming out as a captain? Does that give you any extra motivation?
Yes, sir. It gives me a lot of motivation to see him go out there and play because I looked up to him. So one day I just pray. I hope I'll be in his shoes one day.
So last question. What's something BJ Beats is going to be doing if he's not on a football field, he's not in this indoor, he's not in the weight room, not football related? What are we going to find BJ Beats doing?
I'd probably be at home playing Call of Duty or something like that.
All right, PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Okay. All right. Well, we may have to exchange PlayStation tags later. We'll have to see what's up. All right. Hand that off to your offensive mate over there. Offensive MVP, Jacob Henry, 10 rushes, 155 yards. That's not a bad average, 15 a carry. 3 touchdowns, really 4. We had an 83-yard punt return called back due to a penalty. So, first off, welcome to Maumelle. I would say that's a pretty good debut in a Hornet jersey, right?
Yes, sir. It was very fun, really fun.
So a lot of talk about the transfer portal. We heard some coaches during media days make some comments, and there's been a lot of stuff that's went around. But, you know, we joke about the transfer portal. We say that's what it is. It's kind of the new age. It's where we're at right now with football, no matter the level. It's summer ball, you know, whether it be, you know, at the professional level, whether it be at the college level, now the high school level. It's you know, coming around that's the thing. Like we're gonna go where we feel like I have a best opportunity to play. What about Maumelle made it where you want to be?
Yeah, the transfer portal is just, I mean, it's as big as it is now. But like, honestly, I've always been a Maumelle guy. I used to come to the games all the time. I've always watched Maumelle from the sidelines, being at CAC, just right down the boulevard. I've always seen and heard about Maumelle, but being able to have an opportunity to come here, I said I had to take this opportunity, and I'm just happy I made the decision to come.
Talk about that guy right there, Coach Moppin. How much fun is it to play for him?
It's definitely a lot of fun to play for Coach Mop, someone that you could talk to, not just have to worry about football and all, just being serious. Someone just have fun, have a conversation with, just a good guy overall. I like this guy.
So I want to talk a little bit about the running back room in general. Obviously, you were the big numbers this week, but really you had 3 guys in that backfield that were right at 100 yards between yourself, Wiley, and then Bjork added another 92, 351 total rushing yards. Talk about that running back room, and just how special it's got a chance to be.
Oh, yeah, the running back room is really deep and talented. We push each other to our best limits every day, so at practice we go hard. In the game, it just feels easy. Marshawn, really speedy guy. Andrew playing quarterback, I mean, he can put in the air and he can run it, so, I mean, it's hard to stop that. I mean, our running back group, I just feel like we all trust each other. We trust that each of us can do the job, so just going out there Friday, it should be easy.
Who's the fastest?
I'll probably give it to Marshawn.
All right. He's quick, definitely quick twitch. But I don't know. You were pulling away from some guys a couple of those times, so maybe close. We may have to put some time in on it. All right. I want to talk about the big guys. You know, I called in every Friday night. I'll be calling into Randy Rainwater's show and giving him our players of the game. And I think I named you as our player of the game. But I had to talk about the big guys. I know I mentioned you, BJ, but I want to talk about your offensive line. We've been excited about this offensive line since we've seen them coming. Young guys, you know, and again, we look at the next level. You've got, and Andrew Chamberlain at Arkansas, now at SMU, getting some opportunity down there, some big-time Maumelle dudes. Talk about, because this is a pretty special offensive line with guys like Jalen Harris and the bunch. Talk about the offensive line and how important those guys are.
Yeah, this offensive line is really special. Like, I've never ran behind anything like it. I mean, starting off with Connor, he's just the core leader of those guys. He's going to make sure everybody does their job. He's going to make sure everybody has energy. And just around him, nothing but dogs. Everybody know their job. Everybody going to do their job. Physical guys going to finish their blocks every play. Going to hustle to the ball. Just make sure everyone's set. And with them, our team can go.
Who's going to have the most pancakes before the year's out? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I'll probably say Landon or Sherm.
Okay. All right. I can see that. I can go with that for sure. All right. Well, that's going to do it for week 0. We're gonna call week 0 done, take a quick break. You know, we've got some really good food up here. I don't know how well the camera can see it right now, but I want to say thanks to Taylor up at Count Porkula for hooking us up. We got some turkey as well as a brisket burger up here. So we'll chow down on that here in the next few minutes. But we're gonna take a quick break. We'll hear from our friends over at Count Porkula, and then we're gonna talk about our week 1 showdown with the two-time defending state champion Parkview Patriots on the Count Porkula Barbecue pregame show.
When it comes to barbecue, there's no room for shortcuts. Count Porkula is committed to bringing you the very best artisan barbecue. We use only certified Angus prime brisket, tender baby back ribs, and delicious pulled pork. Our scratch-made southern sides feature classics like collards, beans, and house-made slaw. Barbecue you can sink your teeth into.
All right, welcome back to our pregame show presented by Count Porkula Barbecue. I'm Steve Henson, and if you're going to be tailgating for Friday's game, let Taylor and his team at Count Porkula do the cooking. Call them at 501-246-5669, or you can order online at countporkula.com. Count Porkula Barbecue, you can sink